Mohe. Thank you, sir. Ikwanye penye hane wakbo wade agbo ha Mr. Kweku Amprofi. Chenye chopenye naka chapi mano mineje se inge dangme yo he modi boy wawe niche. Yo. Lo mahem nyelo nana adodankwa Akufo-Addo eke amlalo hino koto maifu bahio bine wangeni chumi ochue ne wangeno yayo. Wamaswane wajia ipuke chonye chope. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm glad to welcome up here to the podium a fine gentleman who shares in the vision of the leadership of His Excellency the President. He is the pioneering executive secretary of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Since he took over the reins, he has led a lot of policy direction and engagement of all such markets on the African continent. And honestly speaking, the future does look bright. With a big round of applause and much love, please help me to welcome Mr. Wamkele Midday.
Your Excellency, President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers, Honorable State Ministers, traditional leaders, members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I represent here the African Union, the African Continental Free Trade Area, on the occasion of the commissioning of this salt mine and processing plant. I wish to start, if I may, Your Excellency President, by congratulating Dr. Daniel Macaulay, the Executive Chairman of the Midday Group, for the vision, for the commitment, and for ensuring that today we mark the day when Ghana can step up to the challenge of industrial development in Africa. I am pleased to witness this commissioning of this salt and processing plant, and I commend the Electrochem Ghana Limited Group. I commend the government of Ghana for supporting this project, as well as the private sector, commercial banks, for ensuring that indeed Ghana does seize the opportunity to trade under the AFCFTA. When this plant is fully operational, it shall be in a position to export up to 50 million metric tons of salt to the rest of the continent, as well as the ECOWAS region. In so doing, this plant will be positioning Africa to positively respond to the challenge of food insecurity, industrialization, and will enable all of us as Africans to say that, and to say so with credibility, that indeed we are seizing the moment that the AFCFTA is presenting to all of us. We shall work together with the Midday Group to ensure that we deploy an appropriately tailored import substitution strategy so that we stop importing salt from other parts of the world and we export salt from Ghana to the rest of the African continent for the sustainability of our continent. The AFCFTA offers a market of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP today of 3.4 trillion United States dollars, presenting us with significant opportunities for innovation, job creation, and as we see today, for industrial development. We look forward to working with the Midday Group to see and to ensure that the benefits are not only for the greater region of Ada, but the greater ECOWAS region from a job creation point of view and exporting processed commodities. The McDan Group was the very first company that we entered into a memorandum of understanding with in October last year. We have a shared vision of a prosperous Africa. We have a shared vision of an industrializing Africa. And we have a shared vision of an AFCFTA that is led by the private sector. The McDan Group also participated in the very first trading that took place under the AFCFTA, the Guided Trade Initiative that we convened in Accra, Ghana last year. As we speak today, trading is happening under the AFCFTA. There is an AFCFTA tariff book, rules of origin, and various other instruments that enable commercially meaningful trade to take place. Once again, I'm very happy that the McDan Group was the very first company in Africa to establish an African trading company that will ensure that the benefits of the AFCFTA are indeed seized, and that here in Ghana, being the very first AFCFTA trading company to take place, Ghana will continue to be the leader in the implementation of the AFCFTA. And so, Your Excellency President, as I conclude, once again, I wish to congratulate your government for the vision. I wish to congratulate the McDan Group for their persistence in ensuring that this project does take off and ensuring that the benefits shall accrue not only to Ghana as a country as a whole, but also to the people of the Ada region through job creation. God bless Ghana. God bless Africa. Thank you.
Your Excellency Wamkele Mene, we're very grateful to you. And thank you so much for everything you've done so far. And the fruits of your labor will continue to be reaped. Of course, we'd also like to congratulate you on the big collaboration that you did, your outfit did, with the Afrexim Bank, as Ghana hosted the Africa Prosperity Dialogue Series. And we're looking forward to seeing that such initiatives are replicated in other parts of the African continent. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, shall we appreciate him with a bigger round of applause? Mahem nyelo ke wahweme ne nyanya bakwenge hiyo. Ine wake nichumyo suo. Wamabo wamache neji nene Abraham Kabu ne inono ite inya munyu. Se loko imaba wamasuone waje nikoto maikuma iko. Your Excellency, it's always tradition that when family comes together, we introduce to you the members of the very big family that has been brought together today for this special commissioning. I'd like to pay my respects to the President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Eyim-Dake. Thank you very much for being here with us, sir. We're also ably supported today by the President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Clement Osei Amwako. We duly acknowledge the presence of one of the key state agencies who are collaborating with the Electrochem salt mine for its operations. And I'm talking about the Environmental Protection Agency, Lawyer Henry Kokufu. We're grateful to you for your presence here today. Also, Your Excellency, you're here ably backed by a strong team that you have brought with you from the presidency to be here with us. As we go along, we'll be bringing some of them here to also bring us their messages of goodwill. At this time, I would also like to say a very big thank you to our friends from the financial sector, especially to our friends from EcoBank. We pay our respects to the outgoing Managing Director, Mr. Daniel Saki. Shall we put our hands together for him? Also, the incoming Managing Director, Madam Joanna Mensah, thank you so much for all the support you've given to this project. We also duly acknowledge the presence of the Managing Director of Prudential Bank, who is also here with us, and the Board Chairman of GCB Bank, who we know are all going to follow in the good example that EcoBank has set. At this time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to respectfully hand over to the overlord of the Ada traditional area. It is through his strong collaboration with the executive chairman of the Magdan Group and a lot of conversations in the interest of the people of not only this traditional area, but this country that we have seen today. And I'm sure that he is excited, just like all of us, that today we're seeing a significant date and a significant moment in the history of our nation and our economy. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to hand over to the overlord of the Ada traditional area, Nene Abraham Kabuakwaku III.
Ago anye, epiomi kan nene, wawapele yomono, le no ba keklo ji. Wa songo no wa ga wa bi ona ni twemion e wo ni ko ke ba pie e ne sa ne ba jepo ko ne na ne ba ye ha ko lo ne na dan ke ne ne e sa gbion e gane le mate wo ko e sa gbion wa ke ha wa register ko ne kan ni ama o to amanyaba.
I'm privileged to read the speech of Nene Abraham Kabu-Akwaku III, Paramount Chief of Ada Traditional Area and President of Ada Traditional Council. Nene, with your kind permission, I read. Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, the chairman of this historic occasion, Ministers of State, District Chief Executives, both Ada East and West, Members of Parliament, both Sege constituency and Ada constituency, Assembly members present, Ada Traditional Council members, Neneme, Naname, distinguished guests, and all other protocols duly observed. It is with immense gratitude and pride that we receive you back here in the Ada traditional area after the celebration of our annual festival. We are truly excited because the long-awaited commissioning of the Electrochem salt mine and processing plant marks a significant milestone in the aspirations of the people of the Ada state. As I indicated in my speech at the Deba of the 86th Ada Asavutufiam Festival, the entire membership of the Ada Traditional Council, including my very self, made several pleas to past governments to look for an investor who has the requisite resources to revamp the Songo salt concession. We did not have any positive response from any of the previous governments. Mr. President, you are well aware that in time past, our country used to import salt at the expense of developing the Songo salt concession, which had been neglected for several years. Your Excellency, you gave us a listening ear and took a decision, which will go a long way in putting Ada and Ghana at large on the global scene as a significant actor in the global salt value chain. The years of disappointment, unfulfilled expectations, and anticipation have finally culminated in this accomplishment, which is a cause for great celebration. Mr. President, I stand before you today with a deep sense of pride and commitment. The project we are commissioning today stands as a testament to the power of collective effort, determination, and a shared vision for a brighter future. This endeavor, which has been years in the making, embodies the aspirations and hope of the people of the Ada State. As we celebrate this remarkable achievement, I would like to emphasize the importance of continuity and sustained support. The successful realization of this project is not an end in itself, but a means towards achieving greater successes. It is my unwavering commitment that my administration will continue to provide continuous support to ensure this positive impact of the project is sustained. I call upon all stakeholders, both in the traditional area and beyond, state and non-state actors, to join hands with us in nurturing this project to its full capacity, expanding its benefits and harnessing its potential to the betterment of our people. Let me seize this moment to reaffirm my dedication to tracking the compliance of the project operators to the terms and conditions governing implementation of the project in order to bring societal progress, socio-economic development, and well-being to all inhabitants in my traditional area. To the dedicated workers and visionary leader of this remarkable project, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, traditionally known in Adan as Nene Kabu Krantin I. Your unwavering commitment and tireless effort have brought us to this moment. The journey you have embarked upon has not been without challenges, but your resilience and dedication have triumphed. As we stand the cups of success, remember that your hard work has not only built infrastructure, but also fostered hope and progress in the communities in Adan traditional area. Your dedication serves as an inspiration to us all. Let us continue moving forward with the same passion and dedication, knowing that our collective efforts are shaping a brighter future for us and generations to come. To all state agencies operating in the traditional area, I commend your diligent efforts in delivering your responsibilities of oversight and technical support, which have contributed to safeguarding the Electrochem project. Your role is pivotal in creating a sound environment that allows Electrochem projects to progress smoothly and without hindrance. Your continued vigilance and commitment are vital as we work towards the success of this project. Your efforts truly contribute to the realization of a shared vision. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. I urge you to continue and even improve to help sustain the business here in Adan. I urge the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources to facilitate the release of royalties to the Traditional Council to ensure local participation and development. These funds would indeed empower us shape Adan's development according to our tailored earmarked project. I want to take this opportunity to thank you once again, Your Excellency, for leasing the highway port to our investor, Electrochem. This laudable initiative will lead to an increased job opportunity and would also decrease road traffic from heavy trucks. As I end my speech, I would like to express our profound gratitude to you, Mr. President, for gracing us with your presence today. In fact, which traditional area in Ghana will be blessed to have the President visit twice in a month? I've been directed by Jeche Nene Abraham Kabu Akufo-Addo III, the paramount chief of Adan Traditional Area and president of Adan Traditional Council, to rehash this statement. In fact, which traditional area in Ghana will be blessed to have the president visit twice in a month? Your decision to personally visit and witness the project exemplifies your genuine commitment to our community's progress and well-being. Your presence has not only filled us with immense pride, but also reinforced the significance of this endeavor. Your leadership, dedication, and hands-on approach serve as an inspiration to us all. Your visit today will forever be etched in our hearts as a symbol of your unwavering support and endorsements to the Electrochem project. Thank you for sharing in this moment of achievement and for your continued dedication to our nation's development. Special thanks to the members of Adan Traditional Council for standing with me in the journey so far. I count on your continued support as we move into the next phase of the journey. Special mention to the 4 Oko clans, Adibiawe, Lumubiawe, Tekwebiawe, and Dangbiawe, for availing yourselves, putting all differences aside for the interest of the greater good of Ada and Ghana. Just like any worthwhile endeavor, challenges may come our way in the journey. Be assured that I will always avail myself to offer support and to dialogue with all to help us achieve the best outcome from this sort project. Congratulations, Electrochem Ghana Limited. Thank you.
Jeche Abraham Kabu Akwakune Nono Eten Muchumka Maune Ijomo Ne Eha Ne Usi Ne Ike Nge Diomi Maune Ijomo Wawe. Shall we put our hands together one more time? I'd like to introduce all of us to a son of the soil who serves this nation as a member of parliament and has also been given the oversight responsibility of administering the Greater Accra region. He has made the waves as one man who has brought a special campaign, which is to make Greater Accra work once again. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Honorable Henry Quartey.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Nene Abraham Kwaku Kabu Akwaku III, President of the Adan Traditional Council, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo, who is a Member of Parliament for Damongo, my colleague. Mr. President refers to him as dynamic, hard-working minister. The Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Asamoah Boateng, otherwise known as Asabi. Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Katie Hammond, Member of Parliament for Adanse Asukwa. Sorry. The Executive Chairman of Magdan Group of Companies, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, the DCs of Adan East and West, Excellency Wamkali AFC TFA, the members of the diplomatic corps here present, assembly members here present, Abasai, members of the business community here present, CEOs here present, distinguished invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon or good morning to you all. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of duty that I formally welcome the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and all of you to Sege for the commissioning of the Electrochem salt mine and processing plants. Today's commissioning is a testament of years of investment by Magdan Group of Companies, led by its Executive Chairman, in their quest to boost salt production here in Sege and its environs. It is in this light that I wish to commend the Executive Chairman and all the workers of Electrochem for all their efforts over these past few years. Mr. President, Electrochem Salt Mine and Processing Plant is a wholly owned Ghanaian company which secured a 15-year mining lease by Parliament in October 2020, granting its concession of 41,000 acres. The project is in phases, and currently mining operations cover about 54% of the total concession. Mr. President, I am reliably informed that the production capacity is expected to grow to 1 million metric tons by 2025 as investments and new production facilities and infrastructure are realized. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a region, local economic development is very important to us, and we are pleased to note that Electrochem combines the development of commercial production with the development of small-scale production in community ponds. Already, it is my understanding that 7 communities have benefited from over 70 community ponds, with each measuring an average of 0.6 acres, with a capacity to produce 267 tons of salt each harvest season. This initiative is laudable, and we entreat Electrochem to replicate this in other parts of the traditional area. Whilst we acknowledge that Electrochem has made significant strides, we are not oblivious that there are few challenges and urge Electrochem to continue to deepen the engagements with the traditional authorities to foster unity and cohesion. I also wish to make a passionate appeal to our traditional authorities to support Electrochem because salt production has the capacity to transform the economy and the lives of our people. Naname, when I been what natural fellowship, wanda nyingwashu le no nyi chofie titru ji wo manhi enyelo ni egbogbo ikanlo eje dangbe ni nyefe enyele His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ake President Sroto ete ameba shingmene gbine le yino afe history na afe history yebie eja kenye no nyebi no tu owula magdan benegbine president esign ni enwelegbe ni nichubo ne pito nye no shishi ye nichumo taflache ke ha government ye nichumo ke ha magdan shi eji noya eji anunyan eji nuchumo ni ba ha oblahin ye dangbe fe ni eba gbele mami ni ba shwele mo baba no kashida ha wo nyaminu magdan lulu His Excellency the President agbene wo minister Midday nanyo owula abu jinako ke honorable KT Hammond aka meba wa inofe no ete lojugwa ifi o mi akeshi madam obi eno ni make His Excellency the President akekecho noni blofo ke a able leadership. I can say on authority ake 2021 2022 2023 the Greater Accra region fe aye homowo ka fi srotwe incident free. Chuchuko ke ba ka aye homowo ka ba klantie aba twamokotu aba fe neke ye wo president be amine wa fi fe efe ojuba General Hue, Wangmanya letter, Shiminto ni Mama no Mahanya Bie, Aka going forward. The Regional Coordinating Council, the highest body, decision body of the Regional Coordinating Council, I take decision. Aka going forward. Ke aye homowo, the Greater Accra Nefe, all party paraphernalias, T-shirts in any other form are banned completely. It cannot happen anymore. May I retreat in English that under the able leadership of His Excellency the President, since 2021, 2022, 2023, the Greater Accra region has witnessed its traditional councils celebrating our festivals, otherwise known as Asafotufiam, Homowo, and others, peacefully, without any incidents. We thank His Excellency for this able leadership. Hitherto, you would agree with me that celebration of Homowo in Greater Accra are usually characterized with all manner of incidents, fights, name them. But today, we have arrived. And again, the highest decision body of the region, the Regional Coordinating Council, met 2 weeks ago, and at a meeting, it was collectively decided that going forward, the use of party paraphernalia, T-shirts, in all forms, are banned completely going forward in all celebrations of festivities in the Greater Accra region. Your Excellency, Mr. President, once again, on behalf of the good people of Sege, I welcome you to this place. Mr. President, God bless you. Thank you very much.
Honorable Henry Kwoti, Ikwamupe, Adio, Wachuope, Mini Wamadile. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we appreciate the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Kwoti, with another round of applause. Good people of Ghana, this historic commissioning of the Electrochem Ada Songosol project is live on the JoyNews channel, on City TV, GTV, and their respective Facebook pages. We're grateful to all these media houses. At this time, it's my pleasure to bring to the podium a seasoned lawyer, a dedicated member of parliament of many years, who has the oversight responsibility of government's business in the sector of trade and industry. His work will be very critical in ensuring that these products from this mine will reach different parts of the earth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Honorable Obna Tahir Hammond.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Mr. President, esteemed parliamentarians and traditional rulers, colleague ministers of state and members of parliament, Your Excellency Kelly, Secretary General of AFTRA, municipal chief executives, Group Chairman, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, captains of industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be present at this ceremony today for 2 reasons. First, Mr. President, this commissioning is yet another milestone in your government's march to making Ghana a hub of manufacturing and trade in selected strategic products that anchor industrialization. Second, Mr. President, that this occasion marks a major transition into large-scale salt mining and processing to enable Ghana begin to realize its rightful place as a major salt producer. Mr. President, maybe I should add a third reason why I'm excited to be here today. Mr. Mr. President, and that is that I am happy to be part of those who are today living participants in this ceremony, which is quite historic. Mr. President, many years ago, in the 80s, when we were students at the University of Ghana, our lecturers told us about the abundance of salt on this strip of land adjacent to this sea, but which had become incapable of exploration and utilization in any commercial sense because of a conspiratorial conglomeration of some complicated factors. Today, Mr. President, some 40 to 50 years after that, and after a national incapacitation to actualize a dream, the McDonald Group of companies has made harvesting of salt in commercial quantity at the Adda Sango Lagoon a living reality. Mr. President, and all of this is through your personal instrumentality, and history would accordingly record it. We salute you, Dr. McDonald, and your gallant employees. Mr. President, it would appear that the product we are about to commission to be produced in commercial quantities is a gift that the Almighty God deliberately bestowed on Ghana, and in particular on the good people of the Adda area and its environs. Apparently, Mr. President, of all the countries on the western coast of Africa, only Ghana and Senegal are naturally so endowed with the conditions for the production of salt in commercial quantities. Unfortunately, Mr. President, as a result of the conspiratorial factors I've already alluded to, the volumes that could be produced from our coastal wetlands of the lagoon, the Kita one, and also the Sango one have left a very wide gap in supplies, which is mainly filled by importation from Brazil. Mr. President, as I understand it, the country imported about 650,000 tons of high-quality industrial salt in the year 2020, whilst Nigeria imported over 1 million tons from Brazil in the same year. These are quantities which could possibly have been supplied from this enclave. Mr. President, salt is a sine qua non of an industrial raw material for the chemical and textiles industries, food processing, water treatment, metallurgical processing, oil and gas industry, leather industry, animal husbandry, rubber industry, and electrolysis. The huge and global demand of salt for industrial use, as well as human and animal consumption, Mr. President, makes salt makes salt a highly strategic resource which requires significant investment to harness in commercially viable but environmentally and socially sustainable way. Mr. President, over the years, there have been several attempts to make significant inroads into this market, but with marginal success, despite a huge resource base that our wetlands provide naturally. The private sector has over the years shown investment interest in salt mining and processing. These companies are either defunct or currently non-operational due to difficulties encountered at each stage of implementation, ranging from land acquisition and to security and difficulties in community and human relations, all significantly limiting the economies of scale, capacity utilization, and the fillip for further investment. Mr. President, as a ministry, we recognize the tireless efforts of several companies in the past, present, to turn around the salt industry in Ghana. Present, they have included, but not limited, the Songo Salt Limited, Lingo Salt, Savannah Salt Company Limited, Sege Salt West Limited, Dangbe Salt, and Mr. President, a few of them. However, without a mutually beneficial and peaceful and harmonious industrial relations among the community and the investor community, it has become extremely difficult, if not outright impossible, to carry out any sustainable production to the capacity required. I'm happy, Mr. President, to note that Electrochem, after experiencing some of the vicissitudes and challenges and setbacks in the operation within the enclaves, has managed to invest some $88 million in this state-of-the-art salt washing plant and its ancillary infrastructure and facilities. I understand it's about the biggest in Africa. Progress has been relatively fast, considering the fact that Electrochem industrial site, which was completed in February this year, we understand took just about 2 years to construct. To add value to your product, industrial Electrochem company, you intend to build a refinery in 2024. Mr. President, Electrochem is implementing a business model that is set to combine commercial industrial salt production with small-scale production. This includes supporting 7 communities with over 70 small mining plants, each with capacity to produce over 250 tons of salt per harvest season. Mr. President, Electrochem's entry into the salt industry with such a splash would be very transformative of the entire ecosystem, beginning with this prime location. This, however, requires policy direction that would include reforms in investment and regulatory reforms. It would also require infrastructure development, support, including a salt terminal to transport the salt in bulk. I would encourage Electrochem to continue relentlessly with its active engagement with the esteemed chiefs and people of these communities to ensure sustainable industrial peace and harmony. On their part, I plead with the chiefs and the people, particularly the youth and women, to adopt this project and support it as an important launchpad into the modernization of salt mining and processing in Ghana. This will be most beneficial in terms of attracting allied industries which require salt as the basic raw material to invest, locate, and create the much-needed jobs in this enclave. Dr. Macaulay and your group of companies, I wish you a successful endeavor. You have discussed many other projects with me. The government will take note. The government of Akufo-Addo will take note. And Adam, distinguished delegates, thank you all for your forbearance and for your attention. Thank you very much.
And we're very grateful to you, Honorable K.T. Hammond, Minister for Trade and Industry of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, good people of Ghana, our friends who are joining us via our various networks, via the live coverage, we're a few moments away from the historic commissioning of this plant by His Excellency the President. Before that, however, it's a good time to take a listen to a message from the Sector Minister. Shall we welcome with a big round of applause Honorable Samuel Jinapor, who is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Mr. President, Greater Accra Regional Minister, colleague honorable ministers, Excellency Secretary General of AFTA, Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Magdan Group of Companies, Overlord of Ada Traditional Area, Nime, Name, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Upon assumption of office in 2017, the Akufo-Addo government has implemented several policies aimed at promoting value addition, local content and local participation in the mining sector, as well as the exploitation of lesser known minerals. These policies have led to the establishment of the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIADEC, and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation, JISDEC, to promote and develop here in our country integrated aluminium and iron and steel industries, respectively. As I speak, a technical working group has completed the first draft of regulations under Section 28 of the GIADEC Act 2018, Act 976, to prohibit the exportation of bauxite in its raw state and ensure that we add value to this critical mineral resource. We have, through a public-private partnership, constructed a 400 kilograms per day capacity gold refinery, and we are currently working with our partners to secure a London Bullion Market Association LBMA certification. We have enacted new local content and local participation regulations and have increased the goods and services reserved for Ghanaians in the mining sector from 19 in 2016 to 50 this year, to create employment for our people and retain a substantial amount of revenue in our country. Cabinet has also just approved a policy for the exploitation and management of our green minerals to ensure that we obtain optimal benefit from these future minerals. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have the President perform another important function in the diversification of our mineral resource base and to mainstream our strategic mineral feedstock into our national economy. Our country has huge potential for salt. It is estimated that our 500-kilometer coastal stretch can produce millions of metric tons of salt annually. And this Electrochem Ada Songo mine alone, which Mr. President is here to commission today, can produce an estimated 15 million metric tons every year. It is therefore not surprising that as far back as the 1970s, the then government saw the need to vest the lagoon in the President of the Republic. Unfortunately, the development of this important industrial mineral, also referred to as, quote, white gold, end quote, has seen a checkered history due to the absence of clear policy initiatives to address the interests of all stakeholders. And while we sit on these reserves, Nigeria, closed door, imports over $1.5 billion worth of salt annually, mainly from faraway Australia and Brazil. With our proximity to Nigeria, we stand a better chance of tapping into this $1 billion industry. Apart from the international demand, our salt and oil present an opportunity to develop a chloroalkaline industry with linkages to plastics, paints, pharmaceuticals, textiles, soaps and detergents, paper and metallurgical industries, as well as the production of caustic soda for our ongoing integrated aluminium industry. That is why, under the instructions of President Akufo-Addo, we've been working with all stakeholders to find a lasting solution to the development of this salt mine. After several engagements with relevant stakeholders and the payment of compensation to qualified applicants, Electrochem Ghana Limited, a wholly owned Ghanaian company, has been granted a 15-year restricted mining lease for the commercial production of salt. The commissioning of this plant and this mine, equipped with cutting-edge technology and machinery, is expected to significantly boost production to meet both domestic and international demand for salt. Mr. President, we at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources salute the exemplary leadership of Electrochem Ghana Limited, led by its executive chairman, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, for partnering government on this transformative undertaking. We thank the chiefs and people of Adan traditional area for their continuous support for this intervention, which undoubtedly will benefit communities in this catchment area. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, under the outstanding leadership of President Akufo-Addo, continues to work towards the efficient, effective, and sustainable exploitation, management, and utilization of the natural resources of our country, which are, by the teachings of our national constitution, ladies and gentlemen, without a shred of doubt, the Akufo-Addo government is putting in place the building blocks for an industrial Ghana, which will unleash the much-needed jobs and prosperity for the mass of our people. We will continue to count on the support of all actors to make Ghana the mining hub of Africa. And together with you, the chiefs and people of Adan, we can make Adan the center of salt mining in Africa. I thank you for your attention.
We're also grateful for the hard work in facilitating big projects such as these. Thank you very much, Honorable Samuel Jenapo. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, we're a few moments away from the historic commissioning of this project, but we're live on various television channels. We're live on the JoyNews channel, on City TV, on GTV, and their respective Facebook pages. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of the State Interest Governance Agency, SIGA, Mr. George Boateng. Shall we put our hands together for him? Well, the man who laid the foundations for that state agencies is now serving in a different capacity as Chieftaincy Minister. Honorable Stephen Asamoah Boateng, thank you very much. We also duly acknowledge the presence of our religious bodies, all representatives of our churches. We say thank you, and to all our friends from the Muslim community, we say thank you and welcome. At this time, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Neneme, Naname, our good friends and our loved ones, good people of Ghana, it gives me great pleasure to bring here to the stage a fine gentleman who can be defined as the definition of success. Mark Twain, the seasoned and celebrated writer, once said, "Behind every man, every successful man, is a woman." So I'll be introducing to you two people. The woman behind the successful man I'm about to introduce. First of all, Mrs. Abigail Macaulay, an events design specialist who is the wife of the man I'm about to introduce to you. Shall we put our hands together for her? And now to the successful man she manages and supports in a very strong way. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in this side of the world, we're used to celebrating businessmen of worth and businessmen of greatness in other parts of the world. But it is refreshing to note that through hard work and through foresight, we're able to celebrate the likes of him. His interests in business have cut across logistics, the aviation industry, and now salt mining, which has potential to become the biggest on the continent of Africa. And that will be a wholly owned Ghanaian story. Here in the Adan traditional area, he is known as Nene Kranting Kabu the First. In the northern region, he's known as the Gubana of Tamale. But amongst all of us, we all adore him and address him as Dr. Daniel Macaulay, the executive chairman of the Magdan Group, under which we operate the Electrochem Songo Salt Mine. Shall we welcome him with a big round of applause?
Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa, the President of the Republic, Honorable Ministers, Members of Parliament, Nene Adan and the Traditional Council, my Queen Mothers, friends, my media supporters, you are welcome to this place. This is where I call home. This is home. You see where you are sitting. Feel the breeze. And you understand that this is nature. There is no other nature in the world. When the Bible talks about salt, it really means salt. And you are sitting in salt. I welcome all of you into salt. As a torchbearer for Electrochem Limited, a subsidiary of the Magdan Group, it is both privilege and pleasure to stand before you today to reflect on our journey, our inspiring and profound impact we've had on our community. When we embark on this journey, we inherited a vision of what could be a vision that saw the untapped potential of the Adan Songo Salt concession. From those early days, through the unwavering dedication, hard work, and collaboration of all staff and stakeholders, we have transformed that vision into a vibrant reality. I remember I always ask questions, and people ask me questions, and I could see in their eyes and in their body language of the doubt of revamping this place. The question they ask me is, can you do it? I normally send a wavering fear in my spine, but I kept one word in my head: focus. We've been bashed, we've been misquoted, we've been misrepresented, but as a torchbearer of Electrochem, I kept focus, and the word focus kept always ringing in my ears. Anytime I step into this concession, I ask myself one simple question: am I being stupid or being brave? For something 54 years had not been revamped, what shows I will be able to do it? But I give thanks to my able staff, my unwavering engineers who work day and night for what should be done in 8 years. We were able to do it in 2 years. And this is just the beginning of the story. The story had not been told yet. The story is now beginning. As is said in the book of Luke, chapter 5, verse 5 to 7, where the old book talk about Simon when he went fishing, who faced weariness but reaped and had great harvest at the end of the day. We too have witnessed doubt and challenges, but we have pushed on and pushed hard. We as entrepreneurs in this country must be brave in our humility to create the needed impact for our country. Because at the end of the day, we have nowhere to go. This is where we were born, and this is where we live, and this is where we have to invest, and this is where we have to make better. To revamp the Songo is a long journey, and it is done for the state of Ghana. And this is going to change this country, and this is going to change the Adan community as a whole. This is bringing serious economic benefits that the youth will enjoy. As we speak, we've employed 3,000 youth in this place. As we move to the Adan East, we are employing 3,000 more. By the end of this project, we're looking at employing about 7,000. If we build the port of Adan, we're employing 700 people. I have never seen a single project in this country that had been able to employ so much people. And I say thank you to Mr. President. Thank you to Nene Akwaku. Thank you for Nana Diki. Thank you for all the Queen Mothers and the Traditional Council. Our commitment to the environment, sustainability, and community development has been at the core of our journey. We have embraced this responsibility by sowing the seed of progress and have grown into abundant opportunity. Through interest-free loan to our ladies and our mothers, our sisters, our widows, just to start business in Adan, it is my greatest fulfillment, and to let the people of Adan know that this is just the beginning of good things to come. I remember when the traditional authority visited Mr. President. Mr. President, when they mentioned my name to the President that I'm the one to revamp the Songo Dam, Mr. President took a side. And he said, and they told me that the President said, if it is McDan, he is a good man. But I think I am not the one. But whatever you do, there is something called the God factor. When the God factor is not part of whatever you do is in vain. God is about pouring his blessing on this community. This year we are going to do 650 metric tons of salt. By next year we'll be doing 1 million metric tons of salt. By 2025 we'll be doing 2 million metric tons of salt. All we are asking the government to do for this project and to the people of Adan, to the country as a whole, is to give us two major roads. The road between Bonikope to Kodluido. We are asking the government to connect the Adan West to the Adan East, so that when we produce the salt, we'll have easy access to the port. The last thing we want the government to do for us is to build a jetty. The jetty they send to Qatar, that is doing good to them. We need a jetty ride. It's 2 kilometers away from here. At the east of Adan, the Electrochem will build the port ourselves. And that is the promise. We are not asking much. What we are asking to do is to change lives. Is to change Ghana. Is to touch the pockets of everybody that has something to do with this project. In conclusion, I want the President to know that This is the first phase of the project. The second phase, we're going to build a refinery. And the third phase, we are going to build a chlor-alkali plant. And after building the chlor-alkali plant, one thing we want to add to this part of the world, or this part of the country, is to build a chemical university. Because immediately we build a chemical university, we know that industrialization has started very strongly. I want to take this opportunity to thank some few people who had never been seen on this project. I want to thank Professor Agbeshinyale of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. I remember the first day I sent the application, Prof told me that you can do it, go and do it. Benai of the Mineral Resources, the former chairman here, Busumpra, Professor Ayisi of the Minerals Commission, and Asamoah Boateng, who prepared the contract document at SIGA. Thank you very much. And to let you know, our first equity partners into this project is going to be MIF. And I remember when we spend what we have and we're getting dry, one bank came to our aid, that is EcoBank. They believe in this project and they understood this project. And EcoBank had been with us from day one. I say EcoBank, I want to take this opportunity to, Mr. President, by your permission, to congratulate one journalist who I see as a positive journalist, a journalist who asks questions before he gives a reportage. His name is Pakwesi Asare, who just won the BBC award, the Kwabena Dumor Award. He's going to leave us to the BBC, and I want him to understand that when he gets to the BBC, he shouldn't forget to show the good work of Ghana on their platform. So Pakwesi Asare, I have a plaque for you. Where is he? I know this is a surprise to you. Where's Pakwesi Asare?
And the citation reads, he has over the years demonstrated professionalism in his work, and his ability to conduct interviews with high-profile personalities, including businessmen and politicians, has set him apart. This is coming from the executive chairman of the Magdan Group of Companies on your receipt of the BBC Kwabena Dumor Award. Congratulations once again.
Say a word.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dr. Daniel Macaulay, for this very big surprise. I wasn't expecting it. I was only told to come here and witness this August celebration. I'd like to thank the President and the ministers as well, and everyone gathered here. I want to say a big thank you to you. It's an honor to be celebrated by the BBC as the first Ghanaian to win the BBC World News Kwabena Dumor Award. It's been 8 years coming, and we definitely had to do it, and I did it. Thank you, Ghana. Thanks for the celebration, and I promise to make Ghana proud as I journey to the BBC. I'd like to say a big thank you to my mother, who's been an inspiration all these years. She's here with me, and if she could just stand for us to acknowledge my mother. Thank you very much, madam, for everything that you've done for me. Thank you, Ghana. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
We're grateful to you, Dr. Daniel Macaulay. Shall we do a big round of applause for him? Thank you. Please put your hands together for the ever-present Ghana Police Band. Honorable Ministers, Neneme, Naname, our good friends, good people of Ghana. Back in 2018, when I was Master of Ceremonies for the State Interest Governance Agency dinner, hosted by His Excellency the President, he said something very instructive. He spoke about supporting wholly owned Ghanaian businesses and making billionaires out of them. Isn't it interesting that today he stands here to perform a very important function that could lead us to achieving this goal? Ladies and gentlemen, good people of Ghana, please help me with warm applause to welcome the first gentleman of the land, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Your Excellency, the people of Ghana are listening.
Regional Minister and Member of Parliament for Ayawaso Central, Jeche Nene Abraham Kabu Akwaku III, President of the Adan Traditional Council, the Secretary General, the African Continental Free Trade Area, former Justice of the Supreme Court, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Member of Parliament for Damango, Minister for Trade and Industry and Member of Parliament for Adansia Sokwa, the Minister for Chieftaincy Affairs, Deputy Chiefs of Staff in the Office of the President, the Legal Counsel to the President, District Chief Executives for Adan West and East District Assemblies, the CEO of the Food and Drugs Authority, the CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency, the Director General of SIGA, the Chairman of the Magdan Group, the CEO of Electrochem Salt Mine, President of the Association of Ghana Industries, traditional rulers Neneme, Nikename, residents of Sege, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here in Sege in Adan West this afternoon. The decision to accept the invitation to speak at this event was not a difficult one, especially as it borders on one key sector of our economy, the private sector. For us in the New Patriotic Party, the party from which my government was born, the primacy of the private sector in the development of our national economy is fundamental. It is the very basis of our economic philosophy and has been so for the last 70-odd years. We have never wavered in our belief that given an enabling environment, the ingenuity and sense of enterprise of the Ghanaian will enable us to build a strong, powerful economy which will deliver a good, dignified standard of living to our people. The Electrochem salt mine is one such example of what governmental policy, backed by strong private sector participation, can achieve. Indeed, for some 54 years, successive governments have tried without success to harness the full value of the Songo Lagoon. I'm glad that under the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Songo Lagoon is being brought into full production for the benefit of the residents of Adan and the citizens of the entire nation. The man who is to receive the plaudits for the brilliance of what we are witnessing today is the courageous, excellent entrepreneur, Mr. Daniel Macaulay, a.k.a. Magdan. This is the first time in recent history that an indigenous Ghanaian businessman owns one of the biggest extractive industries in Ghana, in Africa. He's a shining example of what determination and perseverance can produce. Magdan, Aiko. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeche, in the run-up to the 2008 elections, I was startled by a news report which suggested that the Federal Republic of Nigeria was in the process of importing $2 billion worth of salt from Brazil. You can imagine the thoughts that were running through my mind. Think with me for a moment about the prospects of Ghana selling $2 billion worth of salt to Nigeria annually, and the ripple effects the sale of such a simple commodity, which Nigeria and indeed many other countries in West Africa import from other continents, can have on our economy. With its current ability to produce some 650,000 metric tons of salt per annum, and expanding its productive capacity to 1 million metric tons in 2024 and to 2 million metric tons by 2027, the Electrochem salt mine will be the biggest salt producing facility in the entire continent of Africa. As an advocate for value addition activities since I came into office in 2017, evidenced in the implementation of the one district, one factory policy, I'm delighted that Electrochem is in the process of constructing a salt refinery in addition to a port not too far away from here for the purpose of exporting refined salt products to the wider African market. With Accra serving as the headquarters of the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and I'm delighted that its brilliant Secretary General, Wamkene Meni, is here with us today. I'm confident that the expected revenues of some $1 billion to the company will be considerably surpassed. For a project of such magnitude to thrive, it will need the support and backing not only of government, but also of the chiefs and people of the community. To this end, I want to extend the appreciation of the government and people of Ghana to my good friend, the paramount chief of the Adan traditional area, Jeche Nene Abram Kabu Akwaku III, his chiefs, and to the people of Adan for the support you have given one of your own sons. It is a gesture that should be emulated by other traditional authorities across the country. Nene, Jeche, you have seen for yourself the development that this project is already bringing to Adan, the construction of the sports complex, interest-free loans to traders and businesswomen in Adan, construction of roads, introduction of a scholarship scheme, and the provision of potable water for the communities, clinics and schools in the catchment area. In addition to this, 11 pans per community have been provided by Electrochem for persons who are already in the salt business. This implies that some 998,000 bags of salt will be produced per year in communities within the catchment area of the lagoon, the revenue of which must be put to good use for the development of the communities. I've also taken note of the request by McDan in his speech requesting for the construction of some major road projects leading to the mine. I will put these requests before the Minister for Roads and Highways and ensure that he does his best to construct the roads. And I intend to take a personal interest in them. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to reiterate that not only is Ghana the best place for doing business in West Africa, but she's also the preferred destination for a perfect blend of mineral resource potential, stable regulatory environment, favorable fiscal regime, and socially responsive mining in Africa. In spite of our present challenges, I maintain that it is an exciting time to be in Ghana and do business in the country. The Akufo-Addo government is determined to make Ghana an example of rapid economic growth within the context of a well-developed market economy, where the private sector does not only survive, but actually thrives. Accordingly, Jeche, ladies and gentlemen, I declare the Electrochem salt mine duly commissioned. God bless Electrochem salt mine and us all, and may God bless the people of Ada and our homeland Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
We're very grateful to you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we appreciate him with a bigger round of applause? Jiche, Naneme, Naname, our friends and our visitors and good people of Ghana, what is left of the mid-morning and afternoon is the cutting of tape to signify the full opening of this mine. At this time, we'd like to say a final set of thank yous to all of our friends from the collaborative agencies, including our 2 DCEs. Shall we put our hands together for them? We also thank the Hanna brothers and the CEO, the hardworking CEO of the Food and Drugs Authority, Dr. Mimi Delise-Darko. Shall we put our hands together for them as well? To our good friends from Zenith Bank as well, we're grateful to you, and we're hoping that you will emulate the example of EcoBank in putting together this project. So, Your Excellency, honorable ministers, our highly revered traditional ruler, and his divisional chiefs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're grateful to all of you for making it this afternoon, and His Excellency will lead the dignitaries to the other side for the cutting of tape to signify the official opening of this. Once again, we're grateful to all of you, and we will stand for the national anthem. Shall we all...